Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. So this next 10 minutes, hope I will stick to the time. We're going to look into the operational research in MSF, which I'm sure most of you have heard, and since the morning also we have been immersing in results of research, etc. But what is this particularity of operational research in MSF? I invite you to take a glimpse. So, what is operational research? I mean, it's mentioned a lot, OR, etc. But actually, it's hard to put on a definition on that. From the perspective of MSF and our research unit, that this is a scientific inquiry to try to solve our medical, operational, humanitarian problems with appropriate methodologies. I think it's the specificity is that it's embedded in MSF programs with the idea to improve the quality of care and also the output of the program. And specifically, that it's not aiming as academic research, focusing on publication, but more trying to help our operations to choose the right method design, study design, and also using data from the context where we work. Oops. So, in fact, what do we do OR for? Why do we do it? I also don't want to preach. I'm sure all of you will support this, that we do OR, try to generate evidence to improve our medical humanitarian action. We also try to influence the policy and practice, and also whenever we try to, let's say, translate evidence that is maybe not fitting to the low income or limited resource setting, we also use OR as a means to assess the feasibility, demonstrate the effectiveness, the new model of care probably, or on a specific setting and specific population. So the output from operational research activity can be used to advocate for policy change, and also more importantly, since we are collecting data from all the projects that we work, we also have to learn from this. We are improving each time to try to systematically document what we are seeing. And more importantly, we say that, yeah, sharing is almost like an ethical duty for MSF, that by doing the research, we also amplify the voices of the population that we serve, and the sharing knowledge is to try to document the story of the crisis and of the people. So, sorry for this. The point is that OR is one thing. We hear about the monitoring and evaluation, capitalization, and all these things. So OR is part of the MSF learning culture. It helps to adapt, evaluate, and improve our medical action in the setting that we work. How do we do it knowing that our staff are fully busy trying to deliver care and so on? Hence, there are actually institutional support to do this. As we mentioned, MSF Luxor is Luxembourg Operational Research and Epidemiology Unit. There is South Africa Medical Unit. A lot of you work with Epicentre, Manson Unit, and basically many medical departments will support in case you need a research idea or research facilitations. But actually one thing that we want to bring to these pediatric days is actually how then we choose the research we want to do amidst all these competing priorities. So basically we tried this year a new modality. How do we try to, and many of you who are here were participating in this. So we started, this is the Operational Research Gaps and Priorities workshop that we started first by an online survey to many project staff in pediatric care, which then being hashed out in persons for 2 days in Paris, knowing fully well that many organizations also put research agenda. We are bombarded with research agenda, but which research agenda or which research priorities that then fit to MSF? So we are using a methodology that is adapted to MSF from the Child Health, Nutrition and Research Initiative. So we try to score every research idea that we come towards the criteria of relevance, whether it's answerable and whether it's feasible. Knowing fully well, some of you would know that the complicated world of MSF sometimes makes the research may not be fully completed from A to Z. And remember, the Z is also not just the publication, but more to the translation to the practice and the policy. So we hope with this early initiative, we will have medium-term kind of research portfolio that we can follow, and in the next edition, there will be some result from this. Of course, fully aware the specific position that MSF has to collaborate with others as well, to make sure that our research priorities also remain dynamic, refined, and also tailored to the context that we work in. This is a snapshot of the big theme. I will not go into detail. We are happy to share with you the report, but we know that the sepsis and antimicrobial resistance is a big problem in the coming future. We heard a lot about maternal and neonatal health problems still, the knowledge gap that still exists in many of the challenges that we see. So the clinicians, the frontline staff, have to develop like critical thinking in the end, and to have the research questions that can be translated into real evidence-generating activities. So nutrition is there. We heard about mental health, psychosocial support. But I think what comes out of this workshop is also that since we are collecting routinely a lot of data, if only this data is better in quality and so on, there's a lot we can do already to build on a better research. Ethical perspective is very important, and I have mentioned already collaboration is very important. In this workshop, we didn't only talk with the pediatric platform, but also with sexual and reproductive health platform, nutrition platform, mental health reference. So basically, we try to break a bit the silos and try to work together to find answers to the questions that we all care for. So just that, but I want to give you 3 showcase of type of research OR that MSF can do. One is actually all of us this morning was immersed in the situation in Gaza, and basically we also currently conducting a study to look into the trauma description in Gaza due to the situation there. I will not repeat a very harrowing situation that we see, but it's part of. We are aware that there is a real evidence gap. There's maybe many testimony, but we also have to back it with a strong data to try to connect between this evolving weaponry and warfare, etc. It's part of our duty to be able, in the future, how we can support the fight for Palestine. This is still ongoing, so we aim to systematically describe the trauma cases in MSF OCB field hospital. From last year, August, until this year. And we will try to sift through the 4,000 trauma patients that we receive, of course, fully respecting the legal and ethical thing, and this is not easy, but basically we do try to go beyond what we normally do. If you're interested, come to our stand, but the second one that I wanted to showcase as well, because some of you who follow the last edition of Pediatric Days, you heard about GastroSam, which was a trial trying to answer, is it safe to rehydrate severely malnourished children who suffer from dehydration due to diarrhea? It's a very important critical question that finally was answered collaborating between MSF. Many of you are here that is part of this important trial that took place in Kenya, Uganda, and 2 MSF sites in Maiduguri and Magaria in Niger. The result was indeed coming out this year, that finally showing the results that giving intravenous rehydration is no less safe than giving the WHO some standard of care, because normally they recommend just keep giving Resolmal and only giving the IV when you are in shock. But basically this study has been published recently. Have a look and also see our communication about that. That basically with this study we show that there is similar adverse event, there's no heart failure or fluid overloaded, but it also shows that it's feasible to do such high quality trial in MSF setting, and also that a good monitoring care, a good nursing care is actually as important as well, because the mortality in this study was actually much lower than was expected. Last showcase that I want to see to the range of the OR that MSF does, also because in Maiduguri, in Nigeria now, so not just Maiduguri, but OCA, OCP, and OCB are participating in this, trying to link the microbiological data that we have with the clinical data. This is still ongoing, and we hope that can reveal beyond just showing that, hey, there is resistant bacteria, but also how we can improve the outcome eventually. So just 1 minute before I stop here, so do visit us in the booth downstairs for Luxor. I invite you as well to check out the science portal where all the publication of all MSF are there, open access as our policy, and as well another repository where you can look into ongoing studies, concept note and protocol are the REMIT, which you have to make a login, but we will be happy to discuss with you further downstairs. Thank you very much.